Hey there! So today we have another review, and this is another holiday ale, and this is from Spencer. So one of, I believe, two Trappist breweries in the U.S. So Spencer Trappist Holiday Ale, pair with friends and family and friends, and they have like a really nice sweet label on there. It's super small font. I mean, you definitely cannot see that. I can barely see it. They definitely can fit more than labeled. They say mahogany color, wholesome in body, lightly spiced, a heartwarming feast day ale from our table to yours. And it's just super tinily fonted for this decent size label. So very fun, pretty, gorgeous bottle cap on that. Love the red to blue kind of thing. That Saints fleur-de-lis kind of thing going on over there. So it's like Saints and Rams kind of thing going on. Anyway, let's dig into this guy. 9%. They don't tell you about the hops, malt, and spices, but I know for a fact they probably want it poured like that. Yeah, at least. Bottle conditioned, I assume, with that light carbonation. They also, well, they recommend first off it in a kind of like chalice kind of glass or like Orval style glass. They also recommend 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite warm. I would say start off that temperature, you're going pretty hard. Like, I generally recommend something a little lower than that, especially for high ABV beers, and then pushing up as you warm it up. But they're going really hard on the 50 degrees. And then and that includes your like imperial styles, bourbon barrel aged imperial styles, barley wines, etc. And they recommend storing it upright. So I like the fact they at least like offer some kind of recommendation. They say Best Buy 24 or August of 2024. So I assume it's a 4-year Best Buy. Yeah, this dropped fresh. So, oh sorry, 3-year. Yeah, 3-year Best Buy. So they dropped this about 3 months since I picked it up. So very pretty beer though. It has a really nice kind of garnet color to it. In light, has a really beautiful ruby hue to it. It's in general, kind of like a deep, very deep amber. Sorry, way deep amber. It's like almost like light brown. Yeah. Tight bubble head on that. Very perfumey. Wow. First initial impression is that it's very floral. It's almost like potpourri. Yeah. So whatever they're using, it has this really kind of like floral, spicy note to it. There's also the base tone of something like a intense kind of Belgian quad going on. So I get fruity tones, stewed apples. So it's very potpourri-ish. What would do that in a spiced ale? I don't know, but it's like lavender almost. And then it's got stewed apples, stewed pears, a little bit of raisin, nice kind of bready, crusty malt note to it. Cheers. I certainly have it at their temperature. On that palate. So the first attack is in that nose. It is a lemon zesty, fresh floral, like soapy note. It's I think some people find it offensive, but as you push away, it is a really like dangerously drinkable Belgian beer. In that color, you're probably looking at something like a Belgian dark strong ale. So, yeah, it doesn't quite have that kind of levity, maybe. I'm gonna try to like see how much I can rise up out of the glass, but sometimes you can't even pour these beers, especially the Belgian examples, or specifically the Belgian examples. You can't pour these beers without making an insane amount of head, and I couldn't quite do that here. Despite it being warm, I assumed the glass could have just exploded, or the beer could have exploded out of the glass. Yeah, this is a take on kind of a Belgian dark strong ale with some amount of spicing added to it. It's super dry, nice and drinkable. digestible is what they call it, or something like that. But really intense, I would say, floral characteristics on this. That is something the Belgian beers generally don't do, specific with the holiday beers. They have really nuanced kind of spice notes. This one has a really intense kind of like soapy floral thing that I find slightly off-putting. I also find that the beer is just a little bit, it's very drinkable, but it's actually quite good. Yeah, but a little bit muddied, right? Like it doesn't have the spritzy carbonation that I find in maybe Belgian Double, and then it's super dangerous. So that's good. So like you're finding at points, like the spicing and the good points, the bad points, and get a little bit of banana, a little bit of that kind of cooked apple tone. Those esters are quite forward, and the phenolics actually push back a little bit. But as I talk, I get a little bit of that on the back end. This kind of like slight plasticky, peppery thing that's just familiar with Belgian beers. It's in general just a really nice, tasty Belgian dark strong ale with some of those intense aromatics, and not quite the carb that I like, but that is a very tasty beer, though. I think it would be great with Christmas dinner, mostly with your more intense dishes, leaning towards your turkey, hams, and your desserts, and definitely not the leaner portions of those of that meal. So let's go with the solid. Very tasty. 90. Spencer, Trappist Holiday Ale. That's a great one. I definitely recommend it. If you can ever try an American Trappist Ale, like, have to. Like, there's so much wonderful history and information about Trappist beers. So, until next time, guys. Cheers later.